Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Shannon, how are you today?
I am good, Miss Ronay. Good morning to you and your lovely longer and longer hair, it seems. Every time I see you, it's getting so long.
I know, can you believe it used to be like this long?
I know. Are you loving it? Are you?
There are days, I don't know. It's one of those things where like there are days I definitely miss the short hair, but um during the winter, I
Hmm.
like it because I can like cover up my
Like a
neck.
scarf.
It's
Yeah.
it's getting I almost threw a hat on this morning because it's starting to get chilly and I was like then I would just look like a lumberjack. So um
Uh,
but yeah.
so cute. So
Thanks.
cute.
It's
Thick and beautiful. And your husband loves it, I imagine.
he does. Although he doesn't love that there is hair everywhere. Like and I'm
Yeah.
constantly cleaning it up, but he's like between me and the dogs, there's
Yeah.
just
And don't forget your drains. That's my husband with three daughters and me and all of us having long hair. It's like forever he's cleaning the drains. He's like, this is ridiculous. I'm like,
yeah.
it's not like we can help it. Like,
Yeah. Well, he keeps saying, "Why aren't you bald? Like with the
I
amount of
know.
hair that's just everywhere, you should be bald." I'm like, it's I don't know.
And it's so unfair because as we get older, like my hair is starting to thin a little bit in the front, but it's still super thick overall. It's like, why can't I lose just from the back? Like, why is it got to thin? Like, why can't it distribute more evenly? I don't know.
Well, okay, so I have a theory on that. You usually have your hair pulled back in a ponytail, right? It's
At some point every day. Yeah.
it's pulling from
Yeah.
here, not from the back. So,
I try to keep it down. So, well, okay, this is going to be a little TMI, but I try to keep it down because oh, cute, and I want it down, and then when I get really focused on work, it's like in my way. So I just like have to get it, especially because I know I try, but those give me a headache, and which how this doesn't give me a headache, I don't know. Um. Anyway, so we'll see. And it's I'm always taking the headset on and off, but I'm in my new little upstairs office, still getting settled. But I have coming tomorrow some new noise canceling speaker microphone thing where I won't have to wear a headset. And we'll see if that makes it easier for me to keep my hair down. But right now, I'm doing this thing. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of nasty looking. I read this thing from this guy I follow. It's like the Human Garage or something it's called. And he's like all this natural stuff. And you'd probably actually really like him because it's all about releasing emotions. But he was talking about how we really shouldn't use any shampoos in our hair, which I've heard before. But he was saying, we'll see if he's right. If you can go like 30 days without using any shampoo, then your hair will start to reset and it'll get a lot softer. It'll do whatever. So, and then he said, when you first start, the longer you can go without your first wash, the better. I am 5 days without a hair wash and not without a shower. My people, I am showering, but I am 5 days without rinsing my hair. I think I'm gonna have to give up and do it tomorrow, but yeah, I'm trying it.
without rinsing your hair, without water on your hair?
Yeah, yeah, 5 days
Oh,
without because he says let it go as long as you can so that your oils really start to build up. He says, and then start rinsing it with water at the same like you would when you're gonna wash it, but just don't use shampoo. He said you have to give it 30 days because he says that the first 30 days are gonna be like, ooh, which so far they are, ooh. And And then he said, "You'll start to see change." So I'm trying to see if I can go
my
30 days.
my problem because I don't shampoo daily.
Yeah, me
But
neither.
but if I go more than a few days, it gets so tangly I can't even get my fingers through it. And so I have to use conditioner. So that was
Yeah, I mine gets really tangly too. So I just have to start with a pick at the bottom and work my way up every day to now, I mean, Renee, day 5, it's so oily that there were tangles. So
all right.
there's
So if you guys are watching and you have experienced this, share your
uh,
experience with us because, inquiring minds want to know. I try to use
yeah,
as natural a shampoo as possible.
yeah.
Um, so Yeah, you want to stay
Well,
away from sodium lauryl sulfate and all the different things that are not fantastic for you. doTERRA has a pretty decent shampoo and conditioner, but you do have to use the leave-in conditioner if you have really long hair. Uh, I'm still I really like the old shampoo and conditioner that doTERRA had. I'm not
mm,
in love with the new one, so I'm on the search. I just ordered Prose, Prose, and it's supposed to like they ask you all these questions. It's supposed to be more designed for your hair. Um, so I'm trying that out. But if you guys know a really good natural shampoo and conditioner, or if you really suggest Shannon's 30 days without washing your hair,
well,
I,
Shannon will let you know how it goes.
good to know. And I have watched The Human Garage, and a lot of it I'm like, ooh, super cool. And then some of the stuff that he does, I'm like, well, that's extreme. Okay.
Well, and he does, so I'm paraphrasing here, so people don't like go look it up, but he does like this you do emotion coding, so you do
Mhm.
like this release of emotion, but what happens with you is it's done in this way where it's very like you don't even necessarily know you've released your emotions, like you've just like it's he is like you watch his videos and he does these physical things where he twists people like pretzels and does stuff and does applies pressure and does different stuff and then all of a sudden people just start hysterically crying and I'm like, I mean, you know me, Ronay, like that is not something I'm gonna sign up for. But it's
For what?
cool to watch how the different things you do with your body. And, he talks a lot about what you talk about, where we store emotions in our body and what emotions store in what places of the body. And yeah, it's just a more dramatic sort of
Yes.
outcome than what you feel.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, and I believe that there are so many different ways to release emotions and that we do store so many
Yeah.
things in our bodies. Um, there is that temptation to go like, what would it be like to go to a retreat where he's doing that? But it would it would I don't know if there's anyone watching this who has experienced that. I'd love to know because I think it's fascinating and I just have a couple different modalities that I use to help people release, but there are hundreds of different modalities
Yeah.
out there. I did want to talk about something fun that I just learned, and not that I just learned, it's just a different technique for something that I already know, but obviously oils, this is frankincense. And I am getting some information from a doctor who suggests inhaling 10 breaths every morning. So put a drop on your hand, rub your hands together, and then inhale 10 deep breaths daily of frankincense. And he makes large claims as to what this can do. And I'm not going to make those large claims. But I will tell you that any essential oil that you inhale is going to work with your amygdala. Your amygdala is your emotional center. Fastest way to the amygdala is through the olfactory senses. So you breathe it in, goes to your amygdala, down your pituitary, your thyroid, your parathyroid, your hypothalamus, your whole limbic system then just goes, right? So see how I kind of stressed you out there for a second? That's the state that most of us live in is this super stressed out state. And so putting a drop of oil in your hand, rubbing your hands together, breathing deeply is going to help calm your limbic system and help you start producing more serotonin, not producing as much cortisol. Um, but frankincense in particular is an amazing oil for so many reasons. But frankincense is one of the things that it can actually cross the blood-brain barrier. Now, I did read a BBC article probably a decade ago how frankincense can help support your body in releasing things that your body shouldn't be producing that start with a big old C.
Mm.
And this doctor makes a claim that by inhaling, he also has a whole protocol. I don't have the protocol. Um, but by inhaling 10 deep breaths of frankincense on the daily, it can help your body resolve different things, but it also helps with memory retention and mental acuity. Those things I totally, yes, I am down for that. So that is your doTERRA moment for this is,
Mm.
and I will tell you, not all frankincense is created equally. This is the only one that I suggest. If you're interested, I'll drop a link in here um, to get frankincense. It's
So,
it's not inexpensive, but this bottle has over 300 drops in it, so it it's worth it.
can you touch on that a little bit? Just because my mom actually, I just ordered her frankincense recently because she called me. Now, I know enough to know that I just call you. That's like you're like my phone a friend. Um, which I should take more time to learn it. I learn a little bit, I pick it up along the way, but I'm always like texting you with everything. Renee, we have this issue. What do you suggest? Um, but my mom called me recently and she was like, "Oh, somebody gifted me a diffuser and it was a nice diffuser and she's like, I'm gonna go to the big box store." And I'm like, No, mom, we don't want to go to the big box store. We don't want to, I know we don't want to do that." And I said, "But I can get you, you know, anything you want at, quality." And I don't really know the exact whys of why they're so horrible and different. I've heard it. Now, mind you, I've heard it. I just don't pay enough attention to remember it. I'm that kid. And so, um, why does it matter?
Purity, quality, potency, all of it matters because, um, okay, I have a really great example here. So this bottle here, and it's really hard to read, and I can't even put it up there so that it would be close enough to read, but it says 100% pure essential oil on it. The FDA only requires that 25% of this be what it actually says it is. The rest of it can be a filler, and it can still say 100% pure, which I think
Mm.
is stupid and sucks. But what that means is it is now dangerous. This is lavender. No, is this the no, this is the peppermint. The lids got switched because I have a lavender one also. But lavender and or peppermint, you can ingest, right? You can eat peppermint, you can grab a peppermint leaf and you can ingest it, correct?
Correct.
Same thing with lavender. I'm not a lavender girl, so
Mm.
but a lot of people like lavender flavored things. You can grab a leaf and you can ingest it, but on this bottle it says for aromatic and topical use only. That gives me pause right there because I'm like, but if I can grab a peppermint leaf, why can't I ingest this? Now there's a lot of people who will be like, never ingest essential oils. If they are not 100% pure, correct, do not ingest them because there are other things that are added to them. doTERRA has a testing process called CPTG, Certified Pure Tested Grade. It is the most tested. It is tested 56 different ways and by a third party tested before it gets to the consumer. This is super important because the same testing process was used on this bottle and it was more corn mint than actual peppermint and there was lots of impurities.
Corn mint? Is that
Corn
what you
mint.
said? Like CORN?
Yeah, yeah, there's there's lots of different mints out there. Did you know basil is actually in the mint family? So,
I can believe that more than corn. I'm trying to figure out how
no.
corn gets in the mint family.
Okay, think about like lemons and
Yeah.
then we have lemongrass, right?
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different. So corn mint is not corn.
Okay. At all. Okay.
No,
Okay.
no, not at all. Um, okay. Also lavender. This tested more lavandin than lavender, which lavandin is a it's irritant to the skin, where lavender is very soothing to the skin. They smell similar.
So, is there anything on those 2 bottles that would be a cue to the average consumer that 100% pure is not 100% pure?
No.
So it's really, you just have to be educated.
Yes. It's this is also in all of our labeling for all of our food.
Yeah.
Okay. Be very careful in your labeling and what you're reading because the FDA again only requires that 25% of it says be what it is, and the rest of it can be a filler. As long as it's a natural filler, it is still 100%, which I don't
Isn't that
think should be.
crazy?
Now, doTERRA has CPTG, which is certified pure tested grade. They will not sell something unless it is 100% pure. At the top of the bottle here, I don't know if you
Hmm.
can read that. It says essential oil supplement. If it says supplement, you can ingest it. But see, this one just says essential oil. I know it's really hard to read. Some of them will say essential oil blend. If it does not say supplement, it should not be ingested. And I have a lot of people who are like, well, you shouldn't ingest essential oils anyway. Essential oils are, so if you have like a peppermint leaf, right? It has all these little oil sacs all over it. When it is dried, those oil sacs dry against it, and then that's what is ground up and then made into tea. With that tea, you are rehydrating those oil sacs. Essential oil
Yeah.
is just removing the oil sacs. It's more potent, so you need to be careful because one drop of peppermint oil is the equivalent of like 27 cups of peppermint tea. That's how potent it
Yeah.
is.
So you should not ingest just any essential oil for
No,
sure.
for sure. And here's the cool thing. Roseman University did an independent study, oh, what was it, 5, 6 years ago? But you can still find this study. And when they tested all the essential oils out there on the market, there were only three that came back pure: doTERRA and two smaller boutique companies that have since gone out of business because they just
Oh,
don't have the buying power, or I don't know why they've gone out of business. I can make it up, but I don't want to give you false facts. I'm just saying that they have since gone out of business. Other companies, and they tested a lot, a lot, a lot, a
yeah.
lot. They tested another company that is equal in price to doTERRA, and their oils came back adulterated. And they not only tested like one time, they tested different batches to find, because they wanted to make sure that it was consistent. And doTERRA's was consistent. And so they brought the information to doTERRA and said, hey, we just thought you'd like to know this information. And doTERRA's like, awesome. Are you doing any more? They're like, no, like we ran that and we're out of money. And so doTERRA was like, well, we want to put more money into research. So now doTERRA helps fund research. The cool thing about that is the first study was independent. So nobody can argue and say, well, doTERRA paid for that. But since then, doTERRA has paid for a lot, but they don't control the testing results. They're like, we want to know what the results are. So anyway,
Very cool. Well, and doTERRA has a whole line of different personal products that
yes,
are then equally as safe for you, right?
yes, they work.
Like the
They work.
deodorant, face cream. I mean, like, I
Hmm.
don't know all the products
Yeah,
because I
we've,
don't keep
we've
up on it.
we've got a lot of products: shampoo, conditioner, laundry detergent, toothpaste. The toothpaste is awesome, actually. It helps to remineralize your teeth. It's
It's
good stuff.
very cool.
So that was a little more than I intended to talk about doTERRA today, but definitely be very safe if you are using essential oils. The only ones that I recommend to my clients, definitely doTERRA.
Well, and I think that's important to know because you're more and more, I mean, like my mom, you can find them everywhere.
Mhm.
I mean,
And and here's the other thing is a lot of people think, well, I don't want to sell. Great, you can have your own wholesale account with doTERRA. You buy when you want to buy, you don't buy when you don't want to buy. You can purchase monthly and you earn free product. You don't have to purchase monthly, which is great also. So,
yeah, because I've had my own account for,
years.
yeah, like 15 years, 10 years, 10 years.
At least a decade.
Yeah. So, and I love it. And I love, oh, you want to know what one of my favorite products are? And then we'll move on to
Yes.
something else because it's not like actually an infomercial. Sorry. But um, given we're going into this time of year and I like to stock up on them, the breathe drops. Oh my gosh, people, if you need like a cough drop, but you do not like cough drops, so good.
Also just this is super time sensitive, but doTERRA always in November and December they have holiday specials. And I don't know if you saw the owl diffuser, but it's really,
No.
really cute.
Oh, I'll have to go look. I'll have to go look.
And they also have a vanilla. They always do like a hand lotion that's like a special scent and it's vanilla. So I'm super excited to try that.
And that ought to be really good because I think vanilla is doTERRA does things in such a nice way where it's not overdone. And vanilla is one of those, you go to Christmas and somebody gives you that scented lotion and you're like, dear Lord,
Mm.
like you can just like smell the chemical scent.
Yeah,
And I bet you this one is just going to be like, mm.
I'm excited.
Oh. So can we flip the switch and go to something? There was two things I'd like to touch on today, if you
Yeah.
don't mind, that I
Uh,
have on my brain.
yes,
One is what's going on in the world right now a little bit. But the other one is, you just had a really big 1-year anniversary,
I did. I did.
which I think is super exciting. And you wrote a really cool blog about it.
Yeah. So one year ago, at Faith Over Fears, where I really gave my life over to Christ. And it was really fun this weekend because just just taking that in. And it's always fun that it's on Halloween, right? So I get to always remember that and be like, oh, I don't have to choose the scary ghosties out there because I
Yeah,
chose something better.
super cool. And you have a really cool blog about it. You should put the link in because I don't know, a lot. I mean, a year already.
I know there's
Year
so much that has
already.
happened in the year. I mean, I wrote a book.
I
I
know.
didn't write the book. Like this is why it happened so quickly is because I was just there for a yes and, right? And it's amazing when you choose in and when you keep choosing in, even when it's hard, because trust me, there were so many times I just wanted to give up this year. And there's so many times where it would just be easier to fall back into old patterns and to not get up. Like yesterday was a huge struggle to do my study. There was some stuff happening with family and me needing to help manage emotions around here.
Mm.
And it was actually pretty cool because last night I got to watch the No Limbs, No Limits by Nick.
Oh, did you watch
I did. It was amazing. And to just whenever we feel like, oh my gosh, the world is overwhelming and there's too much for me to handle, look to Nick V. Now, I have a really hard time pronouncing his last name, so we're just going to go with Nick V because he's okay with that. Um, a man born with no arms, no legs. He's got like he says his little flipper foot, and to see what he has done with his life and how he's married to this beautiful woman and has four beautiful children, and you're just like, and his love for God is so beautiful. And in that, he actually talks about his struggles. He talks about his suicide attempt. He talks about the darkness where he was like, why me? Right? But then he turned that into a why not? And what can I
it?
do with that? And how can I help others? And how can I show people how beautiful they are? And so whenever I'm feeling a little like, ugh, life is overwhelming, I can look to people like him, or I can also just, well, first off, look to God and go, okay, I'm struggling. And that's when either I'm struggling or I'm supporting those that are struggling. I just sit there in prayer and I'm like, okay, like I know this is rough and I can pray over these people and sometimes those prayers have to be silent because they don't want to be prayed over. They don't want to. experience, or they're in such that a dark hole that they can't see a way out, and I'm just gonna have to like uh
Right.
be a little gentle here. But what's cool is that I feel his love and his support so that I can help love and support those who don't feel love and support. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So I am so incredibly grateful. And I'm grateful that you've been there for the whole thing, right? It was such a beautiful start of like this.
Well, yeah, because we have known each other because of doTERRA, we've known each other for like 10 years,
Hmm.
and we were always acquaintance. I mean, if we passed each other or I would randomly message you and be like, "Hey, somebody's got chicken pox. How do you help with, what oils help with that?" Like you'd get these random, and I wouldn't even, I'm, I don't, I waste a lot of words when I talk, but not necessarily when I write. So I don't even think I'd say hi to you. I'd be like, "Hey, can you," just like randomly. And those were like the conversations that we'd had. And then you, yeah, reached out and was like, "Hey, I've been praying about this." Or, well, weren't even praying, maybe. You were
No,
like,
I was.
"God
I
said
would.
invite you."
So I had met Ray the month before, and that's when I just really started praying about different things and when I had this opportunity to go, but I needed to figure out a way to get there. I needed to figure out a way to stay at the hotel. Like financially, we were just not in a position. And so I was praying about it, and I had somebody who was like, "You could stay with us," and it didn't feel right. And so when I prayed about it, your name just kept coming, and I was like, "Hey, Shannon, so
I know
like,
we've never even had lunch together, but do you like wanna
do you want to share a hotel room with me?"
uh yeah, well, yeah, it was great because the way you approached it, you were just like, "So I've been praying and like God just keeps giving me your name. I'm supposed to invite you to this." And that was probably about the only thing you could have said where I would have just not questioned it, and I was like, "Well, who am I to question God? Like, okay, I'll go." Like, let's go.
That was like the weirdest call for me too, because I was like,
Well, yeah, and literally I don't think we had ever gotten together or spent time together outside of like a,
coaching or
yeah, like a business thing. Like I don't think we'd ever even had lunch together, like really.
mm-mm.
No. So it was, yeah, it was like a let's go from not really having any sort of personal relationship to, hey, let's travel together, stay in a hotel room together, and but amazing and life changing. I'm
But
so thankful you listened.
what a great yes and for you as well.
Yeah.
So, and I've seen you just blossom and grow from that as well.
I know
Or maybe
because,
maybe I didn't know, like I didn't know, but I've definitely seen some changes in you for the positive as we've gone through all this.
well, this is a big change because then we get back. No fear, Ronay here. It's like, "Hey, let's do this thing. Let's do this like, podcasty sort of thing and let's go." I'm more the keep your camera off sort of gal. And let's, yeah, and I'm like, I can't say no. Like I can't like Renee is just following her faith and she's just I can't say no. So yeah, here I am. And I love it. And I do. I love it. So
Yeah,
anyway,
it's been just beautiful. I
life
look forward to the
changing.
next year and decade and forever. So we'll see how
Yeah.
long we're supposed to be doing this because I I have been definitely more open to sharing my faith by doing this, which was never a thing for me. I was always very quiet about, I mean, because I always believed in God, but it was never it was never what it is. Like uh, I
More
was
private and
raised,
personal.
yeah, I was raised with more legalism where it's like you go through these. steps and you do these things. And yes, I have seen God in my life. I saw my dad speaking to him as he was passing away. Like there are beautiful things that have happened in my life, but it's never been this amazing relationship that I've had this last year.
Yeah.
And where I can just speak to him like I would a friend rather than just always ask. Because if you have a friend who's always asking, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? Can you do, but never giving anything in return, then that's not a friend. That's somebody who just uses you. And I think I just used God for a lot of my life. And now I'm so excited that he's using me.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the amazing thing that came out of it for me too, is just that next level of personal relationship with God. Because it's so easy, no matter what religion you were brought up in, to God is the Almighty God, which He is, but there's like a barrier created between you and God in a lot of religious teachings versus really that open relationship. And really understanding this, we confine God to a certain definition, and instead of realizing that He's a part of everything. So now, I think in the last year where things have changed for me on a personal level is just more laughing with God, with,
Yes.
like, every little thing that happens when I do something silly, it's like, "Oh my gosh, I like, really? We had to put this quirk to my personality? Like, we couldn't like, God, like, why do you find this funny?" You know? Different things where it's just much more personal and
Yes.
more well-rounded.
Yes.
So, very good. I don't know how long this will last either, but at the end of the day, I know you and I will be lifelong friends. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm very grateful for you, my friend.
oh, ditto. Okay, so can we talk a little bit about what's going on in the world today
Oh, we have to.
with
Yeah.
all
Yes.
this government shutdown and
Heaviness and
heaviness and the whole EBT snap, whatever's going on with the I have no food, I have no money. Um,
okay, I will start with I am not as well informed about things for the most part because I don't like negativity. I don't like, I have positivity number three. Yours is number one, right?
oh
Where's your
gosh, no.
positivity?
My positivity is I think I'm number 3 too. That's the one we
Okay.
have the same. Yeah.
Okay. Um, I find it very hard. Like, okay, here's a great example. My son keeps telling me about how awesome the Lemony Snicket TV show is that has Neil Patrick Harris. And I like Neil Patrick Harris as a actor, like he's funny, whatever. I cannot like I never liked the books. I never
Mhm.
liked the original movie. I tried to watch it again last night because he keeps telling me how awesome it is. But everything about that show is negative, and it tells you like everything, like this is not a happy story. Nothing about this is happy. And so I try, but I can't. And so when it comes to politics, when it comes to what's happening in the world, I would rather bury my head in the Bible than watch a lot of what's happening. That being said, I've watched
Yeah.
enough to probably be dangerous in this conversation.
Well, you and I are on the same. No, I don't think so. I think you're fine because you and I are on the same boat. I don't watch the news. I don't read, first of all, half of everything. And this is part of what I want to caution people on. Half of everything you see now, especially with AI, is ridiculously fake.
Yep.
And I have no idea what the actual real status of SNAP or EBT is, or how much of it's real, how much of it's not. You hear there's been government funding, you hear everybody's starving. I'm not sure how everybody goes from being fed on the last day of October to starving on the first day of November. I feel like it takes a little more time than that. But regardless, I do think the situation has obviously created some panic and desperation in people, more division among people, and I do think that when you see or things come up, because even if you don't watch the news or you don't whatever, if you're on social media at all, you have things pop up in your reels or things. pop up, and a lot of what's popping up in my space right now is just like people stealing stuff at stores. And I saw a post where someone was organizing a meetup, like let's all go to Walmart at 6:30 and let's all
Yep.
steal at the same time because they can't get us all. And um it just is so, it makes my heart so heavy
Mm,
to think that there are people who, because I mean, think about this for a minute. If you have just the mentality of you have enough to get you through the end of the month, but now the very next day or the next, we're only on the 5th of November. The drastic change in attitude, desperation, in, the different things I've been seeing post, it just saddens me that people can so quickly come to this place of, I have nothing, the government owes me something, how am I going to feed my children? I just feel like there's so much community still in this world, and that there are so many places and people that will help and come together to lift people up. And so I saw one video, this one actually looked real. I don't know if it is or not, but it's like the whole family was walking out of the store with stuff in their hands. Like they got the 4-year-old with stuff in the hands and the leg and everybody. And it's just like, my heart breaks that people are in that place mentally and emotionally. Do you know what I'm
mm,
saying? And then my heart also breaks because you have the flip side of people who are looking at it going, this sort of person stealing, like the judgment and the negativity that comes. I don't know. I'm going to be 100% honest. I have no idea what it's like to feel dependent on the government to pay me and to feed me and to, I've been very blessed to have not felt powerless in that situation. And so I don't pretend to know what it would feel like to all of a sudden, even 5 days in, feel like I'm gonna have no money, no food, no anything, and the panic and the desperation that would bring on, or, I'd like to think I would handle it a different way, but I do find myself, and here's why I wanted to talk about this today, because I have no idea what any of that feels like, it is very easy to start to fall into a judgment mentality of just being judgy, judging where people are at and judging. I hear a lot of people being like, well, shouldn't have been on this program for the last 30 years anyway. That's not what it meant for. Shouldn't have been da 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 da. And it's like, whether that's right or wrong, doesn't change the fact that you have a lot of human beings out there right now who are feeling very desperate and very lost. And it's just another opportunity for us as Christians to bring God into their life, to bring, to do what Jesus would do. And I'm never good at remembering my scripture, but I've really been spending some time in prayer with Philippians, and Philippians 2:3-5 says, don't be selfish, don't try and impress others, be humble, think of others before you think of yourself, don't look on your own interests, but take interest in others. Do what Jesus would do. And that's what I keep trying to remind myself in this situation is, Jesus would feed the people. Jesus would pray with the people. Jesus would comfort the people and let them know that I am here and I am God. So that's the angle I have on it. Um,
my husband was raised incredibly poor, like stealing garbage from the neighbor to eat poor.
yeah.
So he lived a life where he never wanted to be on that assistance. And there was a time when we were first married and had little kids, and we needed some assistance because he was working his butt off. I was trying to take care of babies. We weren't making ends meet. Now, we didn't go on full government assistance because again, he was working his butt off. I think he was working two jobs, right? So like really working his butt off. But we did use we had like Medicaid, so we had assistance with our medical, and then we also had not SNAP, what was it? WIC. We had WIC, so being able to get milk and cheese and cereal and stuff like that. And I can remember the looks that I would get when I would hand over my little WIC vouchers. Now I think people swipe a card so you
Yeah.
don't even know. But like and how they would look over and make sure that the things that I chose were actually approved, and it felt very judgmental. Now, I was raised upper middle class. So for me to have that experience, it was just like tip of the iceberg. I don't know for people who are full on that assistance, what they've been raised in, um, and how that has been passed on generationally, because a lot of this is a generational thing that's passed on. And really, what it is socialism. And you can see how socialism doesn't work because here we've got the government shut down for a month and people are rioting and stealing and doing all these things because you're right, hits that end of the month and they're like, I don't have anything. Whereas if we were doing more community, more helping, more, you're right, there's so much more that we need to be helping our neighbors and we need to be loving them, not judging them, teaching them skills. And
Amen. Amen. Yes.
unfortunately, what we've been teaching is to rely on the government to
Well,
that, yeah,
and we need a government that when they're going to help, they actually help.
yes. Now, fun facts, and these are things that I have learned. The Democrats have voted 13 times to keep the
Mm.
government shut down.
Yeah.
Even though they keep saying, well, it's the Republicans that are doing this. And it's really, really sad. And another thing is apparently the SNAP program, and I need to double check this because I saw it briefly, but I didn't pay a lot of attention, was just funded by the tariffs
Right.
that Trump has been, where, but here's the thing, neither extreme right or extreme left, neither one is right. Everybody needs to come to the center and work this out together instead of being so divided, because what this is going to lead to is another civil war, is really where we're headed.
Oh, absolutely. That's where we're headed.
And on top of that is probably a takeover by a different government. Like, right? So it's a really scary time when you start looking at all that negativity and all of that stuff, which is why I try to avoid it as much as possible. But I also need to stay informed enough that that I know how to help. Now, I recently saw, to bring this back on the positive, somebody that I went to high school with, somebody that all the girls drooled over. He and his wife have started a food shelter, and people can go up and volunteer there. So I'm trying to look at what dates I can go up and volunteer because, like, what a beautiful thing that we can do um, if we can't find different ways to help, then what are we doing? Right? We could go
And
to
we can.
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think, people, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, I'm busy, but guess what? I can find a couple hours that I can go and I can volunteer some time to help ease somebody else's suffering. My daughter and I started making, we've done it once, we're going to do it again, and where we come together and we make some freezer meals. But as we do that, we're also going to think about who can we take a meal or two to help bless that family, to help.
Right.
So instead of sitting here being in fear and worry, which is what we could do, how about we step into gratitude and into service?
Yeah. And into the understanding of one on one. Like I think a lot of times people do nothing because the problem is so big. They're like, well, I can't afford to. It's like you don't have to afford to change the world, but if you can help the one neighbor and the
Mhm.
next person next to you is helping another one person, really, if your goal can be, I'm going to try and help one person through this, and whatever that looks like, right? Because it might be like, well, it's not like I'm eating caviar either, so what am I supposed to give them? Well, give them part of what you have, and if what you have is a cabinet full of ramen, give them some ramen. Like, it doesn't have to be I think we overcomplicate it, and, um, I think we don't have to. Like, in our neighborhood, I saw and I think another resource or a tool that's great in this is on Facebook, so many communities have their separate Facebook pages. And, like, I saw somebody on our Coon Rapids community page who has one of those little lending libraries in their front yard, the little post and the little box with all the little books. And she posted, she said, for the time being, during the government shutdown, we've removed the books and we've put snacks in there.
Oh, what a good idea.
Yeah. And they just she took a little picture of, if you are struggling right now and you need a snack, please stop by. There'll be snacks instead of books. We'll do our best to keep it. I know one of the local pizza places, um, Pizza Man in Columbia Heights. I think it's so cool. I follow them. They are doing a thing with free slices of pizza for as much as we can afford to do and as long as we can afford to do it from whatever time of day, 4 to 6 or something. Don't quote me. You'd have to go look it up. But if you're hungry, come in. We'll feed you a sliced pizza. So everybody can do something.
Exactly. And here's the other thing is making sure that those who can help aren't taking advantage of those who are. Because I
Yeah.
know that there are a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I'd love a free slice of pizza," right?
Yeah.
But hopefully there's more good in the world than what we're seeing, right?
Yeah.
I think that that's the problem is all we're seeing is the negative. We're not seeing the positive. We're not seeing people like my friend Josh who has opened up a food shelf or your friend who is like, "Hey, I'm putting the snacks in the lending library. So if you need something, like don't
Right.
hesitate." Because there are a lot of people like my husband who because he grew up that way, he never wanted to have to be on any sort of assistance. And when we had to have assistance because we had little ones, right? We took as little assistance as possible so that we weren't taking away from somebody who needed it more.
Yeah. And I think this is an opportunity to create community. And like you said, whether people like to believe it or not, a lot of the patterns in our lives are generational,
Mm,
whether it be being on government assistance, whether it be whatever. I mean, alcoholism, all these, you get all these things that, tend to be generational. This is an opportunity to show God's love to people and to show them that you have something more you can depend on in this world than the government sending you a check because I think a lot of people in these situations do feel very isolated and like there is nobody and and man, I would have loved I'm just in the wrong. I mean, I'm not because God's timing is perfect, but I would just love to be in that sort of situation where you lived in community where the expectation is we take care of each other, we help each other, we watch out for each other's children, we watch out for our neighbors, all those things. That's what we
yeah,
should be doing. And it's
abs
hard to do.
absolutely. I'm going to switch one more time and talk about just because you mentioned generational, um,
Mhm.
but let's talk about breaking a generational chain. And my daughter wrote me this beautiful, beautiful song, and it's about motherhood. And she just posted it publicly. And it is the most beautiful tribute to me that I changed a generational, what's the word? I don't want to say curse because that's not what it
You
is.
you broke a cycle.
I broke a cycle. And it doesn't matter what cycle has been passed down to you. you can break that cycle. You can change it for the good or for the bad, right? And this beautiful song, I can't make it through without crying. In fact, she's like, "Mom, if you want to do like a reaction video," and I tried and I ugly cried, and so I'm like, "Nope." So I will share her video here because it is just such a beautiful, like she sees that. I mean, yeah, of course there are things that my mother did that I did, right? That aren't good, but there's so much more that I changed and made it different for her. And now I watch her raising her children, and she's so much better than I am. And so it's just like improving that cycle. So whatever cycle you may feel stuck in, you don't have to be there. You can change it. And one of the best ways we're going to tie this back in is by leaning on God,
Yeah.
because He is the ultimate chain breaker.
He is our waymaker, and what he wants for us is always so much more, better, and bigger
Yes,
than what we can even see for ourselves.
absolutely.
So, yeah, and that song, please do put the link in because,
Yeah. Yeah. So she wrote it, what is it, a month or two ago for me. And I've she gave me permission to share it with just a couple people, and you were one of the people that I was able to share it with. And then the feedback, she was like, okay, well, I guess this could help other people who've struggled
oh,
with
yeah.
moms that weren't necessarily there for them. And her biggest thing was, what if Nana sees this? I'm like, well, this is your truth. You can't hold back your truth just because it might hurt somebody else's feelings.
Right, because her truth is not being expressed in a negative, a mean, or an ugly way, or a um, any sort of way to be disrespectful to somebody else. It's presented in a way to honor you, which, oh my God, I ugly cried, and my mom's awesome. But I think that's the great thing about it is I think we all have something. And I think you can listen to that song and hear what she's saying to you and apply it to your something and understand, the message.
Yeah, it's
It's
absolutely beautiful.
beautiful. Yeah, it's
And
absolutely
what's
beautiful.
amazing is you can just see God shine through this girl of mine. She's
Yeah.
just she is a beautiful, beautiful daughter. And I am so grateful for the honor of being her mom.
So now that she shared it publicly, does that mean you get to share it publicly so that I can share it publicly?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. It really is amazing. I mean, absolutely beautiful. So I'm excited for that.
Yep. She actually has an Instagram, and I will tell you what it is where she shares her music because I went to try to share it and it's not set as public yet. She's gonna change it. But you can go follow her on Instagram, and it's lullaby.lemonade. So when life gives you lemons, write lullabies. Is
Oh.
her little tagline. But she's just started this. Uh
Lullaby dot there it is, found her. Lullaby dot
Lullaby.lemonade. And I'm just so grateful for her. She has this way of writing music that just helps. Like all of her songs help. In fact, I have several on my YouTube. Maybe I'll link to those that are songs that she wrote when she was 15 and 16. They're just beautiful. So I'm grateful to God for all of my children, right? They all have their unique talents, and I love seeing them come out and seeing them grow, and how, like, I'm just so blessed. We're just
Yeah,
gonna
it
leave it
is
there.
such a gift to watch your children become these amazing individual human beings. One of the greatest gifts that you can't really understand till you experience it. Because, our moms can tell us all kinds of things, or our dads can tell us all kinds of things, but until you go through it, you just really don't understand what a gift it is to watch your children become amazing human beings.
Absolutely. All right, my friends. As always, we have meandered and wandered through a bunch of different topics, but I think, well, I hope that you can see how we see God's hope in everything that we do. And hope that you have an amazing, blessed day.
Amen.